After spending 100 hours in the new Diablo 4 season, testing all possible leveling builds, I've come up with the absolute ultimate build for crushing the leveling experience as a Necromancer. In fact, I came up with two of them, and this is one of my top picks for builds that you need to test out in Season 4. It absolutely decimates all content in the game, all the way from level 1, all the way into endgame with ease. Just check me out mindlessly farming enemies 20 levels higher right here. It's completely unkillable, absolutely AFK crushing the first capstone dungeon at level 36, and the second one at 55. Yeah, get fucked, Elias. On top of that, it's the absolute easiest build imaginable. Even these fucking morons would be able to clear all content in the game with ease running this build. Yeah, so how does it work then? Well, firstly, minions are omega busted in Season 4. They're so busted that you could probably just stand at the other side of the room, jerking off while the minions cleared the entire game for you. And all of this is due to the massive buffs coming in the new season. Minions now inherit 100% of most of our stats from 30%, making them not fucking useless. Blizz also changes a bunch of key aspects, such as unyielding commander's aspect, for example, improving the minions massively. On top of minions, the build also uses sever. This ability just simply deals insane amounts of damage, more than any other ability in the early game, which is buffed further via supernatural sever. As we are running a ton of minions, this damage scales massively. We're also rocking Corpse Explosion with the Blighted Explosions along with Corpse Tendrils here. Why, you may ask? Well, shit, son, because they're hecking strong, that's why. Events are king in Season 4, and having the Blighted Corpse Explosion allows us to blast the entire screen with massive amounts of damage over time. And on top of that, we have Corpse Tendrils, which pulls in the entire state of Alabama when we're reaching the higher levels. And you know what that means? Yeah, you're goddamn right. Incest, but also the easiest kills of our lives. And this is all due to the new tempering system, allowing us to put Corpse Tendril size on every goddamn armor piece. Talking about armor pieces, we don't really need to give a shit about that in this build as it's so goddamn strong. But of course we don't want to run around naked with our huge boner flapping around. New stats just happens to be completely broken. For example, Golem Mastery is a new stat that can be obtained, buffing our Big Daddy Golem by 25% multiplicative per point. And according to the calculations of this famous German engineer, you can get those ranks up to 28 LMAO. What does that equal to? You're goddamn right. A fuck ton of damage. And on top of that, we can even get attack speed on gear now. Now you're probably like, yeah, whatever, bro. But this is busted for two reasons. First one being we inject cocaine straight into our minions' dicks, making them attack insanely fast. And second being the cult leader, legendary node double dipping for massive amounts of damage. We have a bunch of more changes coming to minions, however, so we'll break some important ones down as we go. But if you're not motivated to run minions yet, just check out this Chinese fella hitting for 6 billion with his golem daddy in the endgame.
就是秒的状态啊，就是咱们的伤害可以在6秒时间可以打一个100亿以上的伤害，66亿啊！我暂停一下，你们看一下啊。
Hell yeah, friends. So what do you say we take a quick look at the gear and aspects that you'll be looking for? Yep, I think it's time. And we'll start off with the most important stats. As you'll progress through Sanctuary, you will see that most dogshit stats are gone now. But some are still best in slot. And for defensives, there's a few that you'll be looking for. These are max life, armor, and resistances. Now you're probably like, and what about damage reduction, bro? Are you dumb or something? Those are obviously the best. Yep, but those are gone in Season 4, so they can suck a dick. Instead, we'll just be looking to cap out armor and resistances the best we can, and stack max life instead. And on the helmet, we'll be imprinting the disobedience aspect. The Juggernaut aspect is simply better, but as disobedience can actually be acquired, we'll run with that until we are fortunate enough to get the Juggernaut. For stats, you'll be looking for these ones, but resistances are also useful to grab on the helmet. Down here, you also find some extra stats. And if you're new, then you need to find these tempering manuals and go to the blacksmith to put them on. Don't worry though, Mr. Paragaming will of course provide you with a guide for that soon enough. The same goes for the chest. Grab Golem Mastery if you can, and smack on some defensives. Aspect of Hardened Bones is also absolutely massive here, as damage reduction is hard to come by. And you know me, I do my best to come all the time. Nice one. Unfortunately, this one and a few more needs to be acquired through luck and hard work. But before you tell me to fuck off in the comments, remember that you'll only need to find one of them in Season 4. All you then need to do is salvage that shit, and you'll have it forever. Alright, and next we have the gloves. In this build, we'll focus on consuming corpses as damage and gaining essence, followed by unleashing all of it with sever. For this reason, the cadaverous aspect is absolutely busted. Also pay attention to the tempered stats here. We of course want the worldwide corpse tendrils, but we are also able to grab some damage to close enemies here, which is insane at low levels due to the high scaling. So get that, damn it. And next, hide that massive boner of yours and pick up a pair of panties. This is a perfect place to also grab some resistances, and if you manage to find aspect of Occult Dominion, then you can rejoice, because that thing is busted as hell. Not only does this increase our pets, but it also increases our sever damage due to more minions. For our last armor piece, we have the boots. Focus on finding a pair with movement speed here, as we want to be fast as fuckboy, and also try to grab Bloodgetter's aspect. If you're wondering what the hell this cryptic aspect does, it simply increases your damage. If you don't manage to find this aspect, then Windstriker's aspect is another option. Now for the weapons, things get interesting. So put down your pecker and listen up for a sec. Firstly, we are looking for massive amounts of attack speed here, as it's by far the strongest weapon stat currently. And as you're reaching the later stages of the leveling, you need to look out for this one. Sever has a chance to cast twice. You should also be looking for aspect of Frenzied Dead here, as it's going to be absolutely massive when you reach some important Paragon nodes around level 60. Early on, you'll also be looking for a Scythe as a weapon, as it provides some healing that is difficult to find early on. And for the offhand, you're looking for the same thing here, along with Accelerating Aspect. For the jewelry, you'll be able to find all of the aspects in dungeons, which is pretty dank. And this one is fucking bonkers. Flat 40% damage multiplier for our minions, yes thank you. And by imprinting it on our amulet, we get an additional 50% bonus. You'll also find it in Alderwood, which is a pretty sweet dungeon. For stats, you'll be looking to stack as much attack speed, cooldown reduction, and movement speed as possible. And the reasoning is simple. We want to deal big damn, of course, and be fast as fuckboy. When it comes to the rings, you're still not able to get cooldown reduction here, so you'll grab intelligence instead. And the aspects, the ones you want, are aspect of grasping veins and edge masters for the big damn. You'll find these in Corrupted Grotto and Old Stones. Well, goddamn, nicely done. Gear and aspects are now done. Let's check out my highly intellectual skill tree that I definitely didn't make, as I was buzzed out of my mind. In the left side here, you'll see the absolute try-hard version of the skill tree that you can follow along as you're leveling. But as it will take you like 2 hours to unlock the entire skill tree with this build, I'll just show you the skills tree by tree. And we'll, of course, start with the basic skills. Now, I'd love to drop one of these on the basic skills. But unfortunately we need one for essence generation early. Bone Splinters is my favorite one here, as we'll only use it to gain essence, but Hemorrhage is also a great option if you're into that kinky blood stuff. We'll then go to the core skills, max out Sever along with Enhanced and Supernatural Several for Big Damn. Hewed Flesh is also massive here, allowing us to gain corpses for free when dealing damage. After that, we go to pick up Corpse Explosion. Early on, we're aiming to max it out as it's insanely strong in the early game, but in late-game versions, you won't see this one maxed. We're also picking Enhanced and Blighted Corpse Explosion to easily rake up experience as we're fighting in events and stuff. We also have a bunch of passives here for armor, buffed skeletal warriors, as well as an easy way to obtain essence as we're spamming Corpse Explosion via Grim Harvest. Fueled by Death is also great, granting us some extra damage. Next we have the curses, and I'm finally able to let one loose on these ones, because we're skipping them, of course. We do have some passives here that we want, namely Death's Embrace for the Dam and Defensives, Death's Approach to become fast as Fuckboy, and Skeletal Mage Mastery to not make our mages useless. After that, we're heading on over to pick up the big statewide Corpse Tendril. Not only does this pull in everything imaginable, but it also boosts our damage, as well as grant us vulnerability through plagued corpse tendrils for, even more damage. As our only way of obtaining Fortify, we're also picking up Necrotic Carapace here. Being fortified grants us 14% damage reduction, and that's a hell yes for me. Reaper's Pursuit and Gloom are the last passives we grab here, granting us movement and some extra damage from our Sever. And then we have my favorite passives in the ultimate skill tree. Golem Mastery is just busted, granting a whopping 25% multiplicative damage per point. We also have Inspiring Leader here, granting both us and our minions extra crit chance, as well as Hellbent Commander, providing an additional 45% damage bonus. Another amazing skill here is Army of the Dead. Now we won't be using this in the leveling build, but I'll have a link somewhere for the most brain-dead minion build, possibly utilizing this one. And lastly, the key passive. Kalen's Edict is the way to go here to boost our minions and make use of one of the nastiest Paragon nodes in the game. Well, goddamn, that's the skill tree done. Are you ready for the Paragon Board yet? Or do you need some time to rest? All right, let's take a short breather. Meanwhile, make sure to become a member and sub, for fuck's sake. Just look at this. You'll become a literal Paragaming Uber Gigachad and support my road to complete content creator degeneracy at the same time. All right, enough with the sellout. Let's get back to work. I almost forgot. Before checking out the Paragons, you of course need Book of the Dead. We're not going for anything fancy here. Just Reaper with Upgrade 2, along with Shadow Mages Upgrade 1, and finally the Big Daddy Blood Golem with Upgrade 2 for big stonks. Alright, let's head on over to the Paragon Board now, you beautiful human being, or robot or whatever, I don't discriminate. I'm only going to show the Paragon Board up until level 70 or so, and then it's time to go for a true endgame build after that. And this is, of course, because we want to rush the nastiest legendary nodes possible. Let me show you how. We're, of course, starting out in the starting board. Here you will be grabbing as much intelligence as possible, and also socket corporeal for this same reason. This is, of course, because we want that extra damage early, and corporeal uses intelligence. We then head on over to the Flesh Eater board. You want to grab this node ASAP as it's goddamn busted. 40% multiplicative damage, hell yeah, just keep blasting those corpse explosions and you'll keep it up with ease. Now you're going to ignore the glyph and shit right here and instantly go to the next board. Here we want the cult leader, legendary node. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on here on this website, but this is not showing correctly. What you actually get is this one right here, but the damage will be doubled in Season 4. So yeah, that's pretty goddamn busted. And when you've gotten this, you can eventually go back, socket essence, start leveling it up, and transition to an endgame build around level 70. Well, shit, son, we even managed to clear the Paragon Board. What's left then? Oh, hell yeah, it's time to get good and learn how to play this amazing build. Fortunately, it's completely brain dead. You're literally just running around, letting your minions do all the work for you, LMAO. But there are a few things that you need to do. First one being, summon those damn minions. Yep, they'll keep dying, and it's your job to resurrect them. So press that skeleton button and tell them to get back to work. The golem should rarely die, but he instead has an active button. This one is for big stonks and should be saved for whenever you need to nuke an elite or boss out of existence. Corpse Tendril should be used on cooldown, pulling everything in for you and letting you deal damage with ease. And for dealing damage yourself, you have Sever and Corpse Explosion. You'll focus on using Corpse Explosion to gain essence, as well as whenever you're doing an event or jerking off, as all you need to do is spam that one button then. For last skill, we have the dead-ass boring piece of shit skill Bone Splinters. Only use this whenever you're forced to, or in other words, when you don't have any corpses to consume for essence. And that, my friends, is your new favorite build. Don't forget to sub and become a Paragaming Uber Chad, and I'll see you in the next one.